Yeah, it's not exactly a gardening day, but this is produce from the previous year that is the last of my canned tomatoes. I decided to make a lasagna later on tonight, so I'm making my sauce right now. But I chopped up some of the jalapenos I had growing, and those are the Hungarian wax and the sweet banana peppers from the garden too. Actually from the greenhouse. Both of these are from the greenhouse. So I got a lot of work to do. These things make beautiful, like pickled peppers for like hot dogs and hamburgers and whatever else you want to. I'll even add them into my soups and stews in the wintertime, give them a little kick. But they're gorgeous. Look at that. How can you not like this stuff? It's like, it's unbelievable. I love growing things. So I was starting to cut what are those things? Hot pepper, banana peppers and Hungarian wax peppers, and then I realized that my sauce is really starting to cook down, which means I gotta get this going for lasagna. And I still have to make the meat portion of it, but I thought I would just show you what I do for lasagna. It's nothing special. I'm sure everyone's got their recipe, and this is just the one I like to use because it seems to work for me. But it's basically, you know, 2 of these, so that's 475 grams of ricotta, 2 tubs of those, 2 eggs beaten up. That's about, I guess, a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, fresh, like, there's my fresh, they're right there. And then I take one of these full mozzarella things, and I grate this up, as you can see in here. And then I'll either use 1 or 2 more of these. I'll cut them in slices, and on the top layer of the lasagna, I'll put these slices so you have a nice layer of mozzarella cheese on the top. Nice and gooey, delicious. And all I do is I just mix all this stuff up. I add like, oh, I better put that in too. Where is it? This is my dried basil that I dry myself. I don't measure when it comes to stuff like this, to be honest with you. It's all done by, no, I don't want oregano in this. Where's this here? It's all done by what feels right to me. Basil and parsley are like must-haves. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I like a lot of salt and pepper and stuff like this. And then you just blend it all in and get it all over the counter while you're doing it. Mixing the egg. Everything gets to be a mess. Clean as you go. That's what you do. I'm sure everyone's got their favorite type of lasagna recipe. And, you know, I've had many lasagnas in my life. I've known a lot of people who like to make it. And, you know what, to be honest with you, I can never say that I've had a bad lasagna. I think it's one of those dishes you can't necessarily screw it up. Everyone has their own flavorings to it. Maybe they like their sauce a little spicy. They like to put some vegetables in it. You know, they maybe use less Parmesan or more Parmesan or less herbs or less salt. There's always something different. But I cannot say that I've never had a bad lasagna that's been homemade. Store-bought, yeah, that's a whole different story. But homemade lasagnas, No, most of those are, well, the ones I've had anyway. Excellent. And then, so I will just let this sit in the fridge while I make up my meat sauce. But I discovered kind of a shortcut a long time ago. Maybe other people do this, and I'm just late at learning shit. Who knows? But once I figure out how many sheets of lasagna I need, and I just use the oven-ready stuff, really. Instead of, you know, you put your sauce in, your lasagna, your ricotta, sauce, blah, blah, how you layer it. I put the stuff on my sheets before I layer the sauce. And this way I'm not dealing with a friggin' piece of noodle that is already starting to cook, and it's almost impossible to spread this stuff across. So this is what I do. I think I'm going to leave that with that while I put it in the fridge, since there's no point in taking it off. But I'm sure a lot of people do that. It's like, I don't know, just one day I had a brain fart and I thought, oh, that should work. And it did. If you've never tried it yourself, do that. Spread your ricotta cheese mixture on your lasagna noodles before you do your sauces and everything, and then just layer them as you go. But, you know, do yourself a favor. Figure out what you need, how many sheets of lasagna you need in your pan first before you do it. That way you're not doing too little or too less, and you know you'll be able to figure it all out. Now that looks like a lot for like one layer of for one pan of lasagna, but if I have enough, because I have more than enough sauce, I'm pretty sure, I may make up 2 lasagnas, because I make them up and then you let them sit for a day in the fridge, or you have a slice for dinner that night, you know, whatever. But you let them sit for a day, and then you cut them into pieces, and then I freeze up individual pieces so that on nights when, you know, I'm lazy or we're really busy, I just don't have time to cook dinner, mostly because I'm lazy, though, to be honest with you. You bring out a couple lasagna pieces. You can either defrost them in the microwave or just put them in the oven for a while, whatever you want to do. And then you got dinner with a quick salad, and I have no freaking idea where I'm going to put stuff in here because my fridge is full. That won't fit in there, so I think I will have to do this. There we go. That'll be fine for now. That time of year, it's like making all kinds of stuff. And when I do my meat sauce, it's always a mixture of sausage meat, ground beef, a big sweet onion, all cut into fine pieces, some garlic, oregano, and then just cook all that together, add it into your sauce, and then Bob's your uncle. Things are good to go at that point. So anyway, that's my lasagna recipe. I will come back to you later. Once I get this stuff together, then I'm going to go back to the peppers, and then if I don't burn the lasagna, I'll show you what the finished results are later on. So, we got some sauce ready. Start that again, don't say so. As you can see, the sauce is nice and ready. I'm hunting for the bay leaf. Get that out of there. Freaking hot. So there's the sauce. There's the pan. I put another baking sheet underneath it because there's always boil over. My prepared lasagna things with the ricotta, and I have a lot left over. So, depending on how much of this I use, I'll have enough for another lasagna, which I'll make later on. I got my mozzarella cut up to put on the top layer. You could easily grate it, I guess, but I just like to see big chunks of mozzarella. Just me, I guess. So I need this guy. This is where you hope you don't screw anything up. And Not only am I pretty slow at everything I do, I take like so long to do shit, it's unbelievable, but I make a mess. So we need a layer of sauce on the bottom. Spread that around a bit. This ain't rocket science, and I'm not going to call this the best lasagna ever. Your lasagna is the best lasagna ever. You make it the way you like it. And I'm sure it's delicious. Because I'm eating it, I can do that. What the hell's underneath there? Oh, there's a big chunk of frickin' meat. Get out of the way. Screw my stuff up here. There we go. Next we go for another layer of sauce. This one we try and just pour over the top. That's when you need like another little scoop. And remember, your lasagna sheets will spread out. So this doesn't go all the way to the edge of my pan, obviously. But that just means that any extra sauce will be on the side, and you just scoop it up and you put it back on top of the lasagna when you eat it. And there we go. Another layer of lasagna. Yeah. There's always going to be a mess. Some more pasta sauce. It's actually chunkier than I normally make it because I didn't have any of my. I used the last of my actual like pre-made sauce. I just basically I put my tomatoes through a food mill and then I cook it down and then I put them through the canner. But I always make stewing tomatoes too for like soups and stews and chili. So I didn't have enough tomato sauce, so I used up a bunch of my stewing tomatoes. I just took out a lot of the liquid because there's so much liquid. So my sauce is a little on the chunky side. But that's good. Another layer of sauce. And it's these guys. And yeah, another little bit layer sauce here on top too. This is how I do my lasagna. Go. Let's try and get this away from the edge of it because it's hot. Now, you smother the top with your mozzarella. That's my oven saying it's preheated. To rearrange some of this. There we go. That's lasagna. I'm just going to put a bit of tin foil over the top of that so it doesn't burn the cheese. loose though. And carefully put that in the oven. And in about 45 minutes, I'll have lasagna. And I have enough sauce to make up another one too. So I'll do that later. Anyway, I know it's not gardening, but hey, it's just me trying to be a cook. I can cook. Some things I do very well. Some things I still am learning to do. But when I do it, I try to do my best. And that's what anybody should do in the kitchen. Just do your best. It doesn't matter how it looks when it comes out, as long as it's friggin' delicious. Because really, at the end of the day, I read somewhere on the internet, it's like if you're looking for pretty, buy it. When you're making it, it doesn't matter if it's ugly looking. All that matters is how good it tastes. Oh, I still have my peppers to do. Okay. I better get on those too. Ta-da! There you have it. That's my lasagna. Yeah, see, little burnies here and there, and this is why I put it under a sheet, because it did overflow a bit. Good juice though. So, like I said before, I have more than enough ricotta mix and pasta sauce to make a second one, so I'm going to. I got all of my Hungarian wax and banana peppers and my jalapenos cut up, so once I get my second lasagna assembled, I am going to get these pickled up and put in the fridge, and then go on to probably the fourth set of dishes I've washed today, because every time I cook there's always a mess. Keep it clean as you go along, right? And then maybe I'll get to relax. It's 20 to 10 on a Saturday night. Hey, it's how I spend my time, I guess. Oh well, thanks for hanging out. Ciao.